The Packers, that according to ESPN, the running back left yesterday's win over the Giants in the first half with a knee injury, but tests confirmed today that it is not a serious injury. There's no structural damage. His status for Sunday's matchup with the Vikings up in the air. Green Bay going to come into that game after an up-and-down effort against the Giants. The offense scored 27 points, a mark it has reached in every victory this season. Meanwhile, the defense has allowed 20 or fewer in 7 of the 10 games this year, but safety Xavier McKinney not overly impressed with their effort despite getting the win.
I don't really think we played our best ball today. Defensively, I feel like we could have been a lot better. There's a lot of leaky yards, things that we could really be tighter on, but it's all just fundamental things. Nothing really that they did. It's stuff that, we could do a lot better with. But like I said, we got the job done.
Again, they'll face the Vikings on Sunday at Lambeau Field. Kick is at noon. Turning to the Badgers, they welcome in Brett Bielema and Illinois on Saturday. Going to be Bielema's second visit to Madison since he left Wisconsin as its head coach after the 2012 season for Arkansas. Illinois favored by 1.5 at 6:30.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
As a proud sponsor of the WIAA, Rural Mutual roots for all of Wisconsin student athletes. Whether they're a hometown hero or they dream of the national spotlight, sportsmanship keeps Wisconsin strong. Visit ruralmutual.com/WIAA to learn more about how they support high school athletics.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Well, the Bucks and the Badgers both in action tonight as Milwaukee is in Cleveland to take on the Cavaliers in Wisconsin. Going to face off against SIUE at the Kohl Center. Badgers moved up one spot to number 23 in the AP poll released today. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil. Print.
Winston fires. End zone off target. Picked off. It's Evan Williams with the interception.
Always stuff to improve on, but definitely, made some big time plays, scored the right amount of points. I think that's something that we challenged ourselves to find ways to get in the end zone. Definitely a great job by everybody, and just got to keep improving, find ways to get better.
Oh, shoot, I forgot to put the big voice guy in here. You know that this is Wisconsin sports. We talk about all the teams. Now, here's your host, Grant Bills. Yeah, that's Jordan Love after the game yesterday. Forgot to put the big voice guy in the intro. Jordan Love yesterday after the win, and you heard the highlight of Christian Watson's catch in the end zone as well. There were some sneaky fun plays in yesterday's game. I finished watching the game yesterday. I'm like, okay, I can take a deep breath and go along with my day. And then this afternoon, 24 hours later, so I was watching the highlights and cutting some of the sound. I'm like, oh, there's some sneaky, really entertaining plays in this game that maybe I should have enjoyed or could have enjoyed a little bit more yesterday. That probably being first and foremost the Savion Williams catch as well. The defensive play at the end by Micah Parsons was pretty exciting. So I think a lot of us were sweating through yesterday's game. And then sometimes it's kind of nice to come back 24 hours later and watch the highlights. Be like, oh, why didn't I enjoy this more? This is kind of a sneaky fun game. This is the Wisco Sports Show. My name is Grant Bills. Thank you for being here. Loaded Packers show tonight. I have like 100 different things that I want to talk about from this game. And because it's been just about 24 hours since the game ended, I want to take lots of your phone calls as well. Kind of a de facto post-game show. A green and gold Monday, as Bill always says. So I'll take your calls throughout at 608-321-1670. The mailbag at 5:50. We skipped it last week because it was the Edmund Fitzgerald show. That's why I was going to say there was a reason we didn't get to it last week. So we'll pop open the mailbag, submit your questions on anything. That's kind of our fun grab-ass segment for 10 minutes a week. We just talk about, random other things. Anything on your mind? Anything you would like to hear discussed on the show, submit your questions into the email inbox, grantbills21@gmail.com. So I'll get to your calls after this opening segment in about 10 or 12 minutes. I do want to talk Packers. A million different parts of yesterday's game I want to discuss. And then Matt LaFleur's presser today, there were some really juicy, interesting things in there. So I cut a couple sound bites that I want to discuss. But we'll start with yesterday. As you heard me discuss kind of as the intro was playing, I didn't really enjoy most of the game yesterday. I swear, it bums me out. This team can be so unlikable sometimes. And they shouldn't be. It's messed up because this team should be really, really likable. I don't know that there's a player on this team that I dislike. Like Jordan Love, so likable. Romeo Doubs, funny. Christian Watson, very likable. We all love Tucker Kraft. Josh Jacobs, right? And then on the defensive side of the ball, I like everybody on this team. And the way that this team has been built the last couple of years, most of them are very young. We've watched a lot of these players. be drafted here and develop kind of together, kind of all on a similar timeline within these last 3 or 4 years. There's this era, this almost like a graduating class. This team should be really likable. And yet I watched the first half of the game yesterday and I watched drop after drop and mistake after mistake. I'm like, do I hate this team? Do I hate all of the guys on this team? Do I hate all these coaches? I might, maybe. I really just wanted the game to end. It's like, just win or lose. Just I can't bear to watch this anymore because it kind of sucked. Had me longing for a regular season Brewers baseball game because I like being angry about the Brewers. I don't like being angry about the Packers. That just bums me out. And then Xavier Williams and Christian Watson caught those passes at the end, and Evan Williams got the interception. And now I'm kind of smirking on the couch like a little kid. 27-20 win certainly beats the alternative. It certainly beats a sharp stick in the eye. To reprise a little conversation that we had last week, because I think it applies even more so than last week. We spent so much time in the month of October, especially, wanting a blowout win. We're trying to will it into existence. The Bengals, this is the week they should blow doors, or the Cardinals. Then a week later, okay, this is the week they should blow doors. And it didn't happen. And the Steelers, I don't think we expected a blowout, but maybe it was the closest thing to it. Funny enough, that's how football works sometimes. And then the Panthers, it's like, well, this is the week. Going into Monday night against the Eagles, this would be the fourth win. And this is the week that they get the blowout. And then, of course, that's the week that they lose. So we spent a month of the Packers season willing a blowout into existence and just asking and begging and demanding this team just once, start to finish for 4 quarters, look awesome, and run away with the game, right? We were almost wanting to speak it into existence. But as I said kind of last Thursday and Friday, and that was a great conversation, I think we were maybe missing the point. This Packers team, forget not being able to blow anybody out. This Packers team hasn't been able to win ugly. They haven't been able to win close, tight games that come down to the wire. Now, in weeks 1 and 2, they kind of gapped Detroit and they gapped Washington. And I think they kind of gapped Pittsburgh too. And what I mean by gapped is think of a race, around a track or a cross-country race or a NASCAR race. Like, you put one good move on a guy. Let's say it's a mile race around a track and 2 runners are shoulder to shoulder, but one runner puts a really good 200-300 meters together, to close lap number 3 and open lap number 4. And that's enough, right? You gap that guy and you break that guy and you can just kind of cruise to victory, right? Just one good, right? You got to put one good run on your opponent. And that's kind of what they did in Detroit. They hit him hard and early, and then they cruised a little bit, maybe in the second half of the third quarter and into the fourth quarter, in Washington as well. I mean, that was a 1-score game, I believe, even in the second half, even though it feel like it. And Pittsburgh, it was like they put an awesome third quarter together and a pretty good start to the fourth quarter. And that was it. That was enough, right? They gapped those teams. Detroit, Washington, Pittsburgh. One great quarter, one great half. That was enough to get it done. Cincinnati, they just they didn't get into cruise control because the game was never really put away until the very end. So cruise control is too complimentary. I also don't think they sleptwalked through that game. That's too derogatory. It was a middle ground between cruise control and sleepwalking. So that game, I don't even know what to do with that game. Arizona was an impressive little comeback, but I don't know that was an ugly win. I don't know that was a blowout win. That was just a nice little comeback. Dallas was a fever dream. I don't know what to do with that Dallas game, but the Packers, 3 losses so far, 3 points in Cleveland, riddled with mistakes, but had opportunities right down to a potential game-winning kick to win it, and they couldn't do it. The Carolina game, so many opportunities. As poorly as they played, midway through the fourth quarter, 5-6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, I'm like, it's still right there. Go win it. They had so many opportunities, and they couldn't do it. Philly, last week, a week ago today, so messy. Lots of drops, penalties, getting in their own way, committing lots of mistakes. But still, lots of opportunities to win. That's the theme in their 3 losses. So many opportunities against the Browns, so many chances against the Panthers, lots of opportunities against the Eagles. Couldn't do it. Could not do it. And in the NFL, you need to be able to make a couple of mistakes. You need to be able to have a bad quarter or a bad half and then put the train back on the tracks and win ugly anyway, right? In the NFL, you need to be able to struggle for 2 or 3 quarters and then make the plays necessary, especially as the better team. And conveniently, in all 3 of those games, Philly, Carolina, Cleveland, they were favored in all. They were the better team in all of those games. At least on that field on that night against the Eagles, make whatever argument you want. They were favored, right? They're supposed to win that game. You need to be able to struggle for 2 or 3 quarters, make some mistakes, flush it, get over it, and steal a win at the end anyways, because in the NFL, ultimately that matters. And I'm comfortable with saying that, not to rationalize or not to cope with wins that aren't as impressive as maybe we think they should be. What does Ryan Wood tell us every Friday? Ryan, do you think they'll be able to, really flex their muscle? Ryan, do you think they'll really be able to put a bad team away? And he always says, well, that doesn't matter because it's the NFL. And really, it's just about winning this game and getting on to next week and trying to win that one, right? In the NFL, it's so important to be able to make mistakes, to be able to have errors. I don't like saying self-inflicted wounds or self-inflicted mistakes because those are just wounds. Those are just mistakes. I think when we say, as I said Friday, self-inflicted mistakes, that's just a mistake. When you say self-inflicted, it's almost like you're letting the team off the hook. You need to be able to play bad football in stretches or in moments in any given game, especially as the better team, and steal a win at the end anyways. You need to be able to do that. And as we talked about last Thursday and Friday, the Packers have not shown that they can do it. And I think maybe they did that. I saw Sam Olber's tweet, conveniently enough, our friend from Locked On Cubs. I thought he made a really good observation yesterday. He was the Bears guy. He tweeted, it's crazy. So many of these games come down to the last possession, no matter what. There were 2 excellent examples of this yesterday, and there's examples of this every week in the NFL because all these games are close. That's why they're so difficult to pick, especially against the spread, right? Yesterday, Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions against the Rams, who might be the hottest team in the NFL right now. And the Seahawks had an opportunity to make a game-winning field goal to win. 4 interceptions against the Rams and Matt Stafford, who, again, are playing as good a football as anybody. Came down to the final opportunity at a game-winning kick. The Vikings yesterday, who Sam is tweeting about, the Vikings-Bears game, J.J. McCarthy was horrible. Justin Jefferson is displaying bad body language. He's pissed off. Not much has gone right for the Vikings recently. And yet, the Bears have to kick a game-winning field goal at the last second because a lot of NFL games come down to the wire no matter what. No matter how bad J.J. McCarthy is, no matter how many interceptions Sam Darnold might throw, these games often come down to 1 or 2 very important plays at the end. And up until yesterday, the Packers really hadn't shown the ability to have a bad first quarter or to have a bad second half, have a bad drop, miss a field goal. They hadn't shown the ability to make a mistake and then overcome it. And you could argue in Pittsburgh, they kind of did. And I know they mounted a comeback in Arizona, but I really specifically am thinking about their 3 losses: Carolina, Cleveland, Philly. Lots of mistakes, drops, penalties, special teams gaffes. And yet in all 3 of those games, they had ample opportunities to just steal an ugly win and move on to next week. And had they done that in 2 or 3 of those games, we're not talking about a Packers team today that's 6-3-1. Maybe we're talking about a team that's, and never make me do math on the air, 8-1-1. And that feels a little bit different. That feels a little bit better. Feels a lot better. You're near the top of the division. You're gunning for a 1 seed. And yeah, the Cleveland game was ugly, but who cares? That was back in September. And Cleveland's got a good defense. We've seen that, right? Or they'd be 8-1-1, and we'd say, yeah, they beat the Eagles 13-10 at home, but did you see what the Eagles defense did last night? 13-10, beating that team, that's an impressive win. That's a gutsy win. That's a gritty win. But the Packers in 3 different losses now had an opportunity to go get a gritty win, to make up for some mistakes or some bad football, and they just haven't been able to do it. And it's funny, I was listening to Matt LaFleur's presser within the last hour, and he made this comment, and it was part of a larger answer. So this isn't Matt, rationalizing or overpraising his team for, I thought, what was still a very sloppy game in New Jersey, New York at the Meadowlands yesterday. But this comment is kind of getting at exactly what I'm getting at. So I'll play it for you. This is Matt LaFleur within the last hour or 2, his presser from today.
It's an imperfect game, and you just want to see guys continue to fight and bounce back when it's not going your way. And it's disappointing when you have an opportunity to make a play and you don't make the play. And there's a natural, just kind of, I don't want to say letdown, but it can be deflating if you allow it to be. And despite all the adversity, I was really proud of our guys, how they just kept playing. And I think if you do that enough, typically you're gonna come out on the better side of it, which is ultimately what happened.
So I'm not telling you that the Giants game yesterday was some bastion of beautiful football. And I don't think the Packers took a big step this weekend. I don't think of them. You probably don't think of them that differently than you did going into the weekend. But this Packers team is not in a place where we can look at any win right now and say, it didn't do anything for me. The fact that you're able to go on the road against a team starting Jameis Winston, who's like, if Jameis Winston had been the backup all season, Brian Daboll's probably still coaching the Giants. He's so much better than Russell Wilson. And he got away with some bad throws yesterday. If you replay that game, the Packers catch 2 more balls on offense. They catch 2 passes on defense. They might run away with that thing. Who knows? I was listening to Locked On Packers earlier this morning. I was grocery shopping, and Pete's like, if they just catch balls on offense and catch a couple picks, they might win by 3 scores. It's like, I don't know about all that, because then you miss a field goal or you step on your hog in the red zone. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying if they just catch a couple balls, they score 40. I don't know. But I'd feel a little bit better. I'd feel more confident that maybe they took a step in the right direction or they grew, blah, 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 blah. Sure. I just don't think Packers fans, we can look at any win right now and say, whatever, didn't do anything for me. Yesterday has to do something for you, because they did yesterday what they couldn't do against Cleveland, what they couldn't do against Carolina, and what they couldn't do against Philly, which is play lots of bad football, but, don't look now, it's the fourth quarter, and this game is still really winnable. So we're going to make a couple of plays and get out of here with a win, as gritty or as ugly as it might be. We're just going to notch a win on our record and keep going. As the month now, turns to November. I know we're halfway through November, but we're really into November football. And we, spent so much time talking about their stretch of games in October: Cincinnati, Arizona, Pittsburgh, Carolina, right? Those games. I just think they did yesterday what I would have killed for them to do in any of their losses. Just 2 of those 3. If you get an ugly win in Cleveland, if you just block a field goal, for Pete's sake, and you get an ugly win at home against Carolina or Philly, either one, well, now you're not 6-3-1, you're 8-1-1. And we're talking about a team that's leading the division. Oh, by the way, don't look now. The Lions look gettable. And why couldn't the Packers be the 1 seed? The Bucs have come back down to earth a little bit. Sam Darnold looks vulnerable. The Rams are 1 Matthew Stafford weird step away. He's got a crumpled back. Now they're playing Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Like, it just looks so much differently. So yesterday is the perfect example of what we talked about on Thursday and Friday. Forget asking the Packers to blow anybody out. Can you get an ugly game? Can you get a gritty win and just escape? This is what the Bears have been doing all year long. And I ultimately don't think the Bears will win the North. I don't think they're as good as their record says. But I certainly would prefer the season that they're having to the one that the Packers are having. I'm tired as a Packers fan of walking through the week saying, but look at their EPA per play and look at how statistically good Jordan Love has been, even though they're unable to get wins that they should be getting. They have no business losing some of these games. And yesterday would have been another perfect result to throw on that pile. And it wasn't, because they made a couple huge plays in the fourth quarter by some of their best players, and they're able to get out of there with a win, even though it wasn't sexy. They're not all going to be sexy. There's time for more sexy wins. I'd still love one. But the Packers have got to play their way into let's get a sexy win territory. They'd played their way out of that. So throw another win on the pile instead of another one on the Browns, Panthers, Eagles pile. It's certainly preferable. Way better than the alternative. I'll take your calls next, Packers fans and owners. 608-321-1670. But first, quick 3-minute break. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
It's an imperfect game, and you just want to see guys continue to fight and bounce back when it's not going your way. And it's disappointing when you have an opportunity to make a play and you don't make the play, and there's a natural just kind of, I don't want to say letdown, but it can be deflating if you allow it to be. And despite all the adversity, I was really proud of our guys, how they just kept playing. And I think if you do that enough, typically you're gonna come out on the better side of it, which is ultimately what happened.
It's Matt LaFleur earlier today. Welcome back. I'll get to your phone calls here in just a sec. Some empty phone lines. If you want to talk about the Packers win yesterday, 608-321-1670. To reiterate my opening segment, I'm not telling you that the Packers were perfect yesterday and that you should throw pom-poms in the air and everything. No. They dropped a lot of passes, and that sucks. I'm still not really sure if their O-line's good enough. I still really don't love how opposing coaches can come in and they kind of know exactly what to do against the Packers defense and exactly what to do against the Packers offense. I think they might need to reinvent themselves a little bit down the stretch. Still lots to complain about the special teams, and my goodness gracious, I need to talk about Luke Musgrave. Ooh. So plenty to nitpick, yeah. But in the big picture, my point is, Packers fans, if the Packers had done what they did yesterday against the Browns, the Panthers, and the Eagles, which is, not a perfect game, but still so many of opportunities to win, and then they stole it and got out of there with a win. If they had done this 2 more times this year, we'd be talking about a team that looks poised to put a stranglehold on this division and chase a 1 seed, and instead, they're 6-3-1. So, yes, it was an ugly win yesterday. I wish they had more wins like they had yesterday. So, I'm going to celebrate yesterday the appropriate amount and point out this is something that they've needed to do. They finally did it. That's my opening point. I'm not telling you that it was perfect. Far from it. 608-321-1670 to your phone calls. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Hey, it's Uncle Packer.
Hey, Uncle Packer. What do you think?
I think 16 wins makes you undefeated. And I don't care if we win ugly, just so we win.
Yeah.
It's so funny, I never thought I would get excited when Malik Willis came into the game. But when he came in yesterday, I felt this confidence, like, wow, I'm glad he's here, and sure enough, he moved the ball. I don't want a controversy. I don't want a quarterback controversy, but wow, I was pretty confident with him. I like that kid.
Well, and Matt LaFleur talked about it after the game and today. He's like, he was ready to go. So I have some comments about Malik Willis. We'll get to that as the show goes along too.
It's kind of like the Packers have a pinwheel of faith with like bad things on it, like dropped passes and useless or stupid calls, or drop passes and stupid calls, or lining up wrong, or open spots in the defense. And we spin that pinwheel, and we get 1 or 2 of them every game.
Yeah.
We used to talk about getting everybody to play together in all phases. We're not even talking about that anymore. We're just talking about hopefully the offensive line can hold up. What are we going to do? I think that this kid, Emmanuel Wilson, is going to do really good with Josh Jacobs out. And have you heard how long Josh Jacobs will be out?
Beautiful. I mean, I'm going to leave it there. I'll give you the latest on Josh Jacobs. Bill Huber reported earlier today, no surgery, and he could even possibly play this Sunday. It's a stinger. Contusion, Matt LaFleur said in his presser. So very good, considering it seemed not so great in the game yesterday. Yeah, I've been saying for a month, like, I feel good about Emmanuel Wilson. Chris Brooks came in yesterday and made some great plays too. Like, if Josh Jacobs has to miss a game or two, I'm not overly worried about it. I don't think that changes their prognosis. that much. If he misses the rest of the year, yeah, I think that would hurt the prognosis of the team. But for a week or two, absolutely. Put a pin in the Malik Willis thing. Now, if you have more to say about Malik Willis, fine. I will give you more of my thoughts on that. I'm just very glad that Jordan Love came in and back from that injury and made some throws. Because if he would have come back in, thrown 2 picks, looked bad, it's like, oh, now we got to do the, should Malik Willis start over Jordan Love thing today, which we don't have to do. I mean, if that's your take, I'll take your call. But I thought Jordan Love played pretty close to perfect yesterday. Still have some nitpicks. We'll get to that, but he was awesome. And Malik Willis was in his role as a backup. What a great backup quarterback. 608-321-1670. Wisco Sports Show. Who's us?
Oh, Grant, usually I give a shout out. I like to give shout outs at the end of a call, but I hear that little giggle. I got to give 3 shout outs really quick to start this off. First of all, my Mean Green out of Denton, Texas, ranked in the top 25, Grant. I'm putting my money into the Mean Green because Luke Fickell has not put any word out to me to donate. I'm like JJ Watt. I'm frustrated with the Badgers. Go Mean Green. Hey, shout out Gus Bus. Good for this guy. The guy wants to party and have a good time. Gus Bus?
Go play D2 or D3. I saw those videos of Gus Bus.
That's not
a serious basketball player. I'm glad he's not here anymore.
Wow.
Have fun on your own time. These kids are making NIL checks now. I don't know. I have no time for that nonsense.
Such a stickler. Hey, how about Malik Willis? So Malik Willis, what a quarterback. That guy is awesome, man. Comes in there, no warm up, leads them to a touchdown. I got to say this about Jordan Love, though. Did we see a little bit of a clutch gene potentially developing there? Because he made the Savion Williams pass was awesome, man. That was his best pass of the day.
The Williams pass, and he's buying time against a blitz. It was a 5-man pressure, and he's just buying time. I thought on top of the great throws, and Tony, we got loaded phone lines. Let's talk more. We'll have more time later this week. I thought on top of the great throws that Jordan Love made, the Watson one, I think first and foremost, the Williams one, he gave Williams a chance. It was as equally as a great, as equally a good catch as it was a throw, but it was, a perfect throw for what it was. That throw, fading against pressure to Matthew Golden over the middle was really good. So all the throws, Jordan Love made some throws yesterday, but I thought just as impressive, maybe more so, his ability to avoid pressure and buy time against a really good pass rush, or just escape the pocket and throw the ball away to prevent a 2nd and 10 from turning into a 2nd and 18. Really good. What I don't get, and what still frustrates me about Jordan Love, is how can you be so good at that and still such an awful runner? Instincts on when to run, instincts on when to get down versus when to lower your shoulder. He's such an awful running quarterback, but in the pocket, avoiding pressure, buying time, he's so good at that. But ask him to become a runner, and there's nothing there right now. Such a weird quarterback. But yeah, I thought Love was awesome yesterday. The throws first and foremost, but then, managing the pocket, buying time, and setting himself up to make some of those throws, I thought that was equally as impressive and really rare. Quarterbacks that extend plays and mitigate pressure versus quarterbacks, that run into pressure or run into sacks. Jordan Love is the opposite. So that's really valuable too. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Hey, Grant, Clemhead Mike.
Hey, Clemhead. How's it going? You and Uncle Packer in the same segment. This is a good one.
I know. I get to follow Uncle Packer, Mike, and Tony from Texas in the same segment. That's pretty awesome.
How lucky are we?
Yeah, 3 for 3, baby. Yeah, I was satisfied with Jordan Love yesterday. I thought he played very well. And if I was mentioning on the live stream, Roberto Duran, hands of stone, must be training these Packer receivers. What the hell is going on out there, as Vince Lombardi would say, dropping passes left and right. And you're making Love look really bad. I mean, you look at completion percentages and yards per attempt, and it goes right in the toilet because nobody can hang on to the damn ball. And as far as Malik Willis goes, I think he's gone after this year. And I think we're lucky to have the second, probably have the best backup quarterback in the NFL, but he's going to be gone. They probably should have used him as trade bait this year. Who knows? But I think he will, he'll be gone. I don't think they can keep him.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what Malik, if I was Malik Willis, I'd try to go. Clumhead Mike, that's a great call. This quarterback draft class is now, I was listening to Cowherd and Middlecoff talk about this in their podcast yesterday. They're like, we thought Arch Manning was going to be a stud, and I guess no one thinks that anymore. And he's been bad. So I guess no one thinks it anymore. Yeah, because we've seen him play. I'm just not a college football expert. I'm certainly not a draft expert. But this, I thought, was supposed to be a really good quarterback class, and now it's not. So would a team like the Jets or the Browns, it's not where I'd want to go if I was Malik Willis, do some of these teams that maybe thought coming into the season we're going to be in the business of drafting a quarterback, maybe some of them try to strike gold with Malik Willis the same way that other teams have struck gold with Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold. I don't know. If I was Malik Willis, I'd imagine he tries to go get a starting gig. I don't know. Maybe like Green Bay. I have no clue. I'm so impressed at the work that he's done as a backup. He got them wins against the Colts and who's the other AFC, the Titans, a win against the Jags in relief duty last year in the second half, and then put together a drive and helped keep that game in a good place so Jordan Love could come back in. I know the Bears game in week 18 last year didn't go, but in the 4 games he's entered, they've won 3 of them and seemingly always ready to go. Matt LaFleur singing his praises today. Like, yeah, when I went to him, he didn't even break a sweat. His heart rate didn't even go up. I'll give you that audio on the next segment. We got 2 more calls here. I want to get to you both before this break. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this? Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Rowdy Rich from Wheeler. And I just think that I think that the Packers have won ugly all the games except for the first 2. The first 2 spoiled us, and we thought, oh, Super Bowl contender.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, the wheels fall off. But I think the whole season is about building character to learn how to win no matter what.
I think so. And maybe we were spoiled a little bit, Rich, in weeks 1 and week 2. And we've had to kind of readjust maybe our expectations throughout the season. That's a little bit of a struggle. Maybe sometimes we're too high or low for that reason, don't you think?
Well, absolutely. And I just think we need patience because got one of the youngest teams in the NFL, the youngest team. We're 2 straight years in the playoffs. It's unrealistic to think we're going to be polished, but I think we have the roster of a Super Bowl champion.
I think they might. Are there going to be any good deals Friday night before deer hunting starts at Roadhouse 25, Rich? Is that a place I should be?
Roadhouse 25 is the place to eat the best prime rib you'll ever eat.
People say that, and it's a good deal too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And there's people that go around and just judge that for a living, I guess, and they're like the number 3 place in all of Wisconsin. It's just some hole in the wall, but the guy has never – I love it when people take their job seriously. That guy lives and breathes his restaurant.
It used to be called Wendy's, didn't it? Well, like
Wendy's Wheeler Inn.
Oh, that's right. So we used to
have great breakfast.
They did have great breakfast. Rowdy Rich, please call again. And I like to talk Wheeler. We would always stop at the when it was Wendy's. We'd always eat there the night before deer hunting. The Friday night fish fry or prime rib before deer hunting season starts. Looking forward to this on Friday night. Good call, Rowdy Rich. I like Wheeler. All right, one more call here, then we'll go to break. Let's do Malik Willis on the other side of this break. We can do 5-10 minutes on Malik Willis, and I can give you a little bit of Matt LaFleur. But first, one more call. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Grant, Jeremy, how are you?
Excellent, Jeremy. What's up with you?
Oh man, good life right now. This game, we talked about it last time. We need that ugly win, and we got it. This is the game where we needed that, and we got it. The offense didn't have their best day, but like you said, Jordan Love played really well. Watching Malik Willis come out there and just shine in a moment, that was awesome. And the throws, like you said, Watson, Golden caught. Did you see that? How they used Golden a little bit better? That was awesome.
Down the field as a receiver,
yes,
and it broke my brain that Savion Williams went and got that ball because I'm like, wait, he can run down the field. He can go out on routes because I if he has done that this year, they haven't thrown him the ball. It was weird. It was like watching a right guard be down the field to catch a ball.
It's like, where did that come from?
Exactly.
And the defense did not have their best day. We saw that. But you know what I loved about it is that they stuck in there and they made the plays when they needed to. That pick at the end, you could see it. They were trying to get them all day because that was a big question mark with the defense. You know, can they get the turnovers?
Yeah.
And they right at the very end there to get that game-sealing turnover. I couldn't have been happier about it. It was a perfect time for it. So they made the plays when it mattered, and they got the win. And that's where it's at.
I'm glad that you remember this from last Thursday and Friday because it feels like they gave us exactly what we're talking about. Jeremy, thank you for waiting. That's a good call. The concern with the defense, we'll push this to hour number 2 because I want to do Malik Willis when we come back. It feels like teams know exactly what they need to do. It's like, yep, we're going to come in and we're going to run the ball 3-4 yards at a pop and run some screens and possess the ball. And the Packers defense really hasn't shown the ability to stop them. And I know they did okay against the Eagles last Monday, and that was great. But I think the Eagles are going through some of their own issues too. I don't like seeing the Carolina Panthers and the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants of the world come in and say, we're going to do ABC, and then they do ABC and they get away with it. They made a couple big plays, Micah Parsons on 4th down and that Evan Williams pick. And if they catch a couple interceptions, we're having a different conversation. But that would be my concern about the defense at this moment in time. I'll take more of your calls, and let's talk more about Malik Willis because I noticed that was the theme of just about everybody's call in this segment. So I'll give you some of Matt LaFleur, and I'll give you some of my Malik Willis thoughts on the other side.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Zone Blitz pregame bash is back. Every Wisconsin home game 2 hours before kickoff at the Blue Moon Bar and Grill. And this year, do I have something special for you? It's a perfect snack for game day or any day. Wenzel's Farm Pro Snack Sticks. Come see me and I'll hand you 16 grams of protein to fuel you through the day. Wenzel's Farm offers that and so much more, crafted in small batches using premium cuts of meat, perfectly seasoned, and naturally hardwood smoked. Check out wenzelsfarm.com. Made by pros for pros.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 5 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 4 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
I can't say enough great things about Malik. I don't even think, just looking into his eyes and talking to him, it was like, all right, here we go. It was just like, it was like practice. I don't even know if his heartbeat rose a beat at all. He just was calm, cool, collected, and he went out there and did a hell of a job. I was really impressed by his performance, and in some tough moments. And I mean, that pass to Christian, I asked him this morning, I was like, was that really to Christian or was that to Rome? But he's like, I didn't even see Rome. He saw Christian kind of stopping because he was running the corner route and kind of stopped. And he was like, I was thinking to back shoulder him. And then when he threw it, he saw Rome in the DB whiz right by Christian's face. And I mean, that was great concentration and strength to make that catch by Christian Watson. That was a big time play.
That's Matt LaFleur this afternoon. I like Monday shows because I can get Matt LaFleur's audio. He'll normally speak, between 2 and 4. His Monday presser is always so much better. Understandable. You got a night of sleep after the game. You've had a little time to think about it. He's had time to talk with his players. It's always better. The sound is always better. The comments are always better. When Malik Willis came in yesterday and led the touchdown drive down the field, I said, okay. I need Jordan Love to come back into this game and play really, really well. Because if he doesn't, we're going to get Malik Willis calls tomorrow and maybe all week long. And those calls would not be ridiculous. If you really like Malik Willis, I know a lot of people do. Tony in Texas, maybe first and foremost. I see G-Dub on the live stream. A lot of people like Malik Willis. I like Malik Willis. But man, I'm like, if Jordan Love comes in and throws 2 picks and the Packers lose this game, this is not going to be a fun week. The only thing that I hate worse than doing kicker talk is backup quarterback talk. These things don't interest me. I don't think they make for good radio. So luckily, Jordan Love came back in and played one of his better games of the season. That might pound for pound be one of the better games of his career, actually. If you look at PFF grades, they had that as actually his highest rated game ever. Do with that whatever you want, okay? You don't have to buy into that. He just made so many big-time throws. And again, I think sometimes the most impressive part of what Jordan Love does, and he doesn't often get a lot of credit for this because he's not a good runner, and running quarterbacks and this thing that Jordan Love is good at, those two things normally go hand in hand. Love is a weird quarterback because these two things don't go hand in hand. He's unbelievable at staying out of sacks and buying time and escaping the pocket. He's awesome at it. And he did it a couple of times last night or yesterday to complete balls down the field, or just, I got to bail out of the pocket and it's 1st and 10 and I need to get out and throw the ball away so we can come back on 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 18. And because I don't get a hit. I think that's maybe the most important part of his game, other than some of the big time throws that he can make. And it's weird. He doesn't get a ton of credit for that normally, because when quarterbacks are good at avoiding pressure, it's typically hand in hand with them being good runners. Lamar Jackson or Jaden Daniels or whoever. Jordan Love is a horrible runner. I was so annoyed watching him. He kept a ball on a read option yesterday on 2nd and 3, and he slid after 1 yard. It's like, dude, get the first down, but also when you slide at the last second, you're more likely to get nailed in the chin than you are if you just protect yourself a little bit. And then a couple plays later, on 1st or 2nd and 10, he's nowhere near the marker. Now he lowers his shoulder and he hurts himself. I'm like, dude, there's a 3rd and 10 where he tries to leave the pocket and he's sliding around like a giraffe. I'm like, dude, you're a horrible running quarterback. But he's really good at being a mobile quarterback in the pocket. He's a bizarre case study for a quarterback. Steven Ruiz has written about this a bunch. And it explains why Jordan Love is kind of a difficult guy to evaluate, because a lot of his traits aren't typically he's a little bit of a zombie in that, well, he has this thing, so he should also have this. And he doesn't. But he has this, so he has that. Nope, the connections aren't there. But back to Malik Willis. Here's the take on Malik Willis. What an awesome backup quarterback. You need a guy to come in cold out of nowhere while your quarterback goes and gets taped up. He can do that. You need a guy to play 2 games while Jordan Love gets his knee healthy against the Colts and the Titans and stick to a really specific game plan and go out and get you wins against lesser teams. He can do that thing. You need him to play the second half in Jacksonville after Jordan Love strains his groin. He can do that thing. Physically really stout. If the play breaks down, he can drop and run. Like, he's the perfect backup quarterback, physically and mentally. That's the Malik Willis take, is, wow, did Brian Gutekunst knock that trade out of the park? And I didn't think, I thought, why, if you need a backup, why do you go get a project? Go get someone you know who he is. You don't have to develop. You don't have to work on. And I was completely wrong, as I very often am. He is the perfect backup. That's the take today. If Jordan Love had come back in and throw 2 picks, well, then we'd have to endure a slightly different conversation. Luckily, we don't, because Jordan Love was really good, and his wide receivers in the second half made some plays for him as well. 608-321-1670. Let's take another call here. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Denny from home.
Denny, good evening. How's it going?
Good evening, and I wanted to tell you good luck deer hunting, my friend.
Oh, are you going hunting, Denny?
Nope. Oh. I have to work and stuff, but my son is going deer hunting and stuff with his son, and they already got one bow hunting, so that was good.
Now it's time to put some meat in the freezer, you know what I mean?
There you go. I hear you. Yeah. So what I wanted to say is, even before the trade deadline, they were looking at different teams with trading Malik, and I was hoping so bad that they didn't, because like you said, where are you going to find an established quarterback to come right off the bench, run for 16 yards, throw a dart in there like he did to Watson, and just be calm and collective.
Calm and confident. And Matt LaFleur said, we always talk about the Malik Willis package, put some plays in for him. Matt LaFleur said after the game, they don't change anything for him. He can come in and run the offense just fine. The thing is, when a play breaks down, unlike Jordan Love, he can just take off and go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
they don't design
that
necessarily all the time, but he has that in his skill set.
Look at what Malik did. He did a 16-yard run right away. I mean, he's got it, and he's going to make a damn good quarterback for somebody in the NFL someday, if the Packers choose not to keep him.
Hopefully he gets an opportunity, and hopefully he gets an opportunity with a team that doesn't suck. You know what I mean? Like Sam Darnold went to Minnesota or Seattle, and Daniel Jones, like, if he's going to go somewhere after this year and compete for a starting job, hopefully it's at a spot like that.
And I wanted to say the Packers have their whole season's coming up in the next 5 games. They have their own input on how they finish and how far they get and how they do. And it's not unlikely for them to get a good running streak and win all 5 of those games, but they could lose all 5. Who knows? You don't know what team's going to show up. Is it going to be Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde?
Yeah. Well, and that's why I liked yesterday's game, Denny, is they made some mistakes. You're going to make some mistakes just about every week. Yesterday, they showed it's like, okay, we can win a game anyways, which they couldn't against the Browns, couldn't against the Panthers, couldn't against the Eagles.
And they showed us that they can play without making a lot of dumb mistakes. It's bad enough they dropped four possible interceptions that could have sealed the game, like you were saying before, But I had one question for you.
Yeah.
If the Giants would have scored, would they have went for 2?
I don't know.
To win it?
An interim head coach, I'd probably go for 2. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, and it's like, thank God that Williams made the grab he did, in the end zone, because, I mean, we're waiting for disappointment just like the last 2 weeks,
Felt a little bit like
because didn't it feel like it? I mean, I thought, oh my God, if we don't do something, I don't like it for them going for 2. And like I said, you can't blame our kicker in those wins to miss the extra points. I mean, I haven't given up on him, but do we have a kicking controversy in your eyes?
I don't know about a controversy. They just have a mess. They have a kicking mess, Denny. I don't know if there's any controversy. It's just a mess. I understand it was windy yesterday. Was it really that windy? I wasn't there. And maybe I'll ask Clemens about this tomorrow. He's flying back from Newark today. He did Bill's hit from the airport in the 1 o'clock hour. What a beast. Sending audio on airport Wi-Fi, making sure he could join the show. Just shout out to Mike Clemens for that. Was it that windy where it's like, were Sean Ryan's snaps affected by the wind? The drops, was that just the wind? Man, they were playing in the Meadowlands. It wasn't Hurricane Katrina. Like Lucas Haversek, you could have put a goalpost next to the goalpost, and he would have missed 2 of those extra points. That I cannot believe that was only wind. In fact, let's talk about this for a couple minutes to wrap up the hour, because I had some comments from Matt LaFleur that kind of ticked me off just a little bit. So we'll wrap up the hour with that, and I'll give you my thoughts on the kicking situation.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
How much was the wind a factor in the kicking game for the extra points? Was either of those misses because of the wind?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a kicker.
You okay with the kickoff in the end zone? Were you trying to do that at the end there? How bad was the wind, and which way was it blowing relative
It's
to
a
your
great question,
sideline?
Pete. I still don't know which way the wind was blowing.
It's a little bit from Matt LaFleur in the postgame presser. I have more from today. Every time I hear Matt LaFleur talk about special teams, I just hear, I don't care. I try not to think about it. Is that unfair? Like, I'm not cherry picking stats here, or not cherry picking stats, cherry picking sound bites, right? Like when you say, hey, Matt, was the wind a problem on the extra points, do you think, or what were you seeing there?
How much was the wind a factor in the kicking game for the extra points? Was either of those misses because of the wind?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a kicker.
Matt, your special teams is a disaster. Always has been. And then you get asked about it, and you're like, I don't know, I'm not a kicker. Or a couple weeks you said, I don't know, I don't talk to kickers. Well, maybe you should. Or maybe you should try. Could you lock in a little bit? This is from today's press conference. So more, I believe this is Pete Doherty again asking if the wind was the factor on those extra points. I mean, they're pretty bad misses. Like, again, He wasn't kicking in the middle of a tornado.
When you look at the 2 extra points that Lucas missed, you mentioned the wind when you woke up yesterday. I'm curious, do you think those were wind related or technique related? What do you think happened?
I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
So it doesn't matter. First of all, I picked the Packers to cover 7.5 yesterday, and they won by 7 and missed 2 extra points. So tell my hemorrhaging pick list on Bills Huddle that it doesn't matter. You've lost 3 games this year, or lost 2 and tied another, and lost 4. You've lost 3 and tied another because you can't make kicks. And you're asked, so was the wind a factor? Was it some sort of a form issue with your kicker? What are you seeing?
I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
Yes, it does. Matt, yes, it does.
I mean,
what do you mean?
At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
It definitely matters. I know it's just a press conference answer, and to be fair, I'll let you listen to the rest because I think he makes it sound a little bit better.
You got to find a way to get it through the uprights, and it was a challenge. There's no question about it. I think the second one was the whole operation wasn't great in terms of the snap. He kicked the laces, which I don't know if anybody's seen Ace Ventura, but as far as I know, it's not a good thing. But yeah, he just
tough.
We got to be better all around him as well.
I just can't believe in the last couple of weeks we've heard, I don't talk to kickers. I don't know I'm not a kicker. And then this.
Whether you got to find a way to.
Actually, I played the wrong song.
I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. Matt, lock in. Your special teams is a disaster. On, I think, the second missed extra point, the snap was horrible, and the laces were pointed at the kicker. And then he kicked it to the friggin' moon. And then you're asked about it today. Well, was it the wind or was it some sort of a mechanical issue? Now, I'm no coach, but a mechanical issue for a kicker seems like it would be a big deal. And the answer is, I don't know. Does it really matter? Yes. Yes, it does. So I understand Matt LaFleur is the offensive play caller, the de facto offensive coordinator. I get that's his lane. But as the head coach, brother, I need you to lock in just a little bit and even act like you have a semblance of a care or a clue of what's going on in your special teams. Because maybe if you did, they'd be a little bit better. Maybe there would be a little bit more of an organizational emphasis, just a bit. If your press conference answers and responses about special teams weren't, I don't know, man, I try not to worry about it. Well, you should. It's literally lost you playoff games. It's lost you 3 games and cost you a win and resulted in a tie in another. It's just so annoying. Oh, and also, by the way, yesterday on one of the Packers touchdown drives, if I may make a point very briefly here, the Packers got the ball, and I found it with Bill earlier, and crap, now I'm not going to be able to find it. On the Packers touchdown drive that they had, there was a special teams penalty that cost them 23 yards of field position. And now I can't find it. It was at some point in the second quarter, and it was a touchdown drive. It might have been the first one. I guess it doesn't really matter. I thought I wrote it down. Yeah, it was a holding penalty on Kingsley Enagbare. It cost them 23 yards of field position. Maybe if the offense every once in a while wasn't so backed up, maybe that DVOA and that EPA per play, maybe it would result in a couple more scoring drives. I got to listen to Matt LaFleur say, well, does it really matter? Yes. Pretend like you care. It might make a little bit of a difference. You would be amazed at just a little pretending what it can do. All right, hour number 2, Zach's update first. We'll be right back.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Packers got good news on Josh Jacobs' injured knee. Coach Matt LaFleur told reporters today it will not result in a trip to injury reserve. His status for Sunday's game against the Vikings going to be determined later on. LaFleur called it a contusion, one they blamed on the hard surface at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Packers need all hands on deck as they begin a difficult stretch of their schedule that features 3 straight games against NFC North teams, starting with a visit from the Vikings on Sunday. LaFleur was asked about the stretch, the first time since his first season that he'll play 3 division games in a row.
Obviously, the divisional games are absolutely critical, and you talk about this 3-game stretch, but really all that matters is this one game for us right now. I mean, we just got to focus on what's right in front of us, and that's to try to put together the best plan to go out and play a team that I think is an extremely tough football team. And they put it on us twice last year. So our guys will be motivated. They'll be ready to roll.
Green Bay went just 1-5 in the division last year. They won their lone division game this year in the season opener over the Lions. Kick on Sunday is at noon. Turning to the Badgers, they will host Illinois on Saturday. Wisconsin 2-1 against their former coach Brett Bielema since he took over the Illini. Kick on Saturday is at 6:30.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
As a proud sponsor of the WIAA, Rural Mutual roots for all of Wisconsin's student athletes. Whether they're a hometown hero or they dream of the national spotlight, sportsmanship keeps Wisconsin strong. Visit ruralmutual.com/WIAA to learn more about how they support high school athletics.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Well, the Badgers moved up one spot to number 23 in the latest AP poll released earlier today. They will look to stay unbeaten tonight against SIUE. They face number 9 BYU on Friday in Salt Lake City, and the Bucs are in Cleveland to face the Cavs. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil, Print.
Winston fires. End zone off target. Picked off. It's Evan Williams with the interception.
Always stuff to improve on, but definitely, made some big-time plays, scored the right amount of points. I think that's something that we challenged ourselves to find ways to get in the end zone. Definitely a great job by everybody, and just got to keep improving, find ways to get better.
Sorry, I forgot to put the big voice guy in the intro. It's the Wisco Sports Show. Hour number 2. Just spent a couple minutes complaining about special teams to wrap up hour number 1 because, of course, again, Battle of Florida's pressers. I would just like the language to be a bit more, I don't know, pretend like you care, dude. Like, I don't want to hear, I don't talk to kickers. I don't want to hear, I don't know, I'm not a kicker. I don't want to hear, did it really matter? Does it really make a difference whether it's a mechanical issue or the wind? Yes. It all matters. At least pretend like you care as the head coach. That might make a little bit of a difference. Let me ask you this. Average person out there who works average job like me, how much of your day at your job or in your personal relationships, how much of what you do sometimes is just pretending? You know what I mean? When you ask someone, how's your day? You don't always care. Doesn't make you a bad person. Sometimes you pretend. When your boss comes in and asks, hey, how you feeling about this project? You say, I think it's going great. And it's the thing right now in your life that could not matter less, but you pretend. You pretend. Because pretending matters. That makes a difference sometimes. Pretend, at least pretending to care. Doing lip service to those around you. Just pretend. And that's why I've stopped yelling about Rich Bisaccia, because it's a bigger problem than Rich Bisaccia. By the way,
I don't know. I'm not a kicker.
Correct. You certainly are not. Probably be the best one on the roster if you were. This was the play I was trying to remember. 12:37 left in the second quarter. The score is 6-7. Yeah. And the Giants are punting it away. Jordan Love is coming back into the game. I'm reading you from the play-by-play, and then we'll get back to the calls. Jamie Gillian punts 44 yards to the Green Bay 26. Romeo Dobbs returns to the 39 for 13 yards. Packers are on the 40. Great field position. Here we go, after a not-so-great start to the game. Penalty on Kingsley and Igbari, offensive holding 10 yards and forced to the 26. I was making food in the kitchen. I watched the punt. I saw the return. All right. Nothing sexy, but that'll do. That's good field position. I turn around to tend to my pot of noodles that I was boiling. And then I turn around. I'm like, why are we inside the 20? What on God's green earth happened? That's a 23-yard penalty. The Packers should have been at the 39, and they get a 10-yard penalty and forced at the 26, which is 10 yards back, which is the 16. 39 minus 20. It's a 23-yard penalty. These little special teams penalties are huge swaths of field position. And you wonder why this offense that every week we get to stats and graphs and graphs. Look at how good they are in DVOA. Look at how good they are in EPA per play and EPA per dropback. Why is it not resulting in more points? Because the special teams are constantly porking them within their own 15. And the defense, when given an opportunity to pick a ball off in the red zone, drops it on the carpet. So every time the Packers offense touches the ball, they're starting 80 yards away from the end zone. And even the best offenses in football are probably not going to score more than 27 on any given week, even if they're playing well, if they constantly have to go 80 plus yards. So it's just so annoying. But let me adjust my tone here for those who have joined now to start hour number 2. A great win yesterday. And if they had done what they did yesterday against the Browns or the Panthers or the Eagles, then the season would be in a much, much better spot. Sometimes winning ugly just gets you to next week. You need to be able to make some mistakes and play a little bad football and win anyways. Look at what the Bears are doing. A perfect example. So actually pretty satisfied with what happens yesterday, but nitpicking some things like the special teams. We talked about Malik Willis back at 4:30, but anything that's on your mind, a little bit of a de facto Packers postgame show today on a green and gold Monday, as Bill would say. 608-321-1670. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Hey, it's John from Holman.
Hey, John, what's going on?
I was just wondering, what quarterback led them to their first touchdown?
Their first touchdown drive would have been Malik Willis, right?
Isn't that what I said on Friday?
What did you say? Remind me what you said on Friday.
Remember I called in and I said that they need to pull Jordan out. Malik throws a better ball. Sometimes you got to pull somebody out to get the fire lit back underneath them. And they should have let Malik run with it for a while. They probably would have run out the score a little bit.
You think so? I mean, here's the weird thing about yesterday. John, that's a good call. And thank you for reminding me what happened at the end of last week. I apologize. I don't remember your call right away off the top of my head. The Packers only had 1, 2, 3, 4 drives in the first half, and the last drive was a 2-minute. And then in the second half, they had 4 drives. And the last drive was there's really 6 drives. And then the last one in the second quarter was 2-minute, and the last one of the game was 3 runs and a punt. They had 6 drives. So scoring 27 points is actually a pretty good game when you talk, well, they would have run up the score. The Packers just didn't possess the ball that often because the Giants ran the ball and did the thing. And that's a bigger picture concern about the Packers is these opponents, they just know what to do. And for the most part, they're getting away with it. The Panthers got away with it. The Giants pretty much got away with it yesterday. So I know some people like Malik Willis. The best I can do is he's a perfect backup quarterback. I'm not going to go any farther than that. I'm continually really impressed with him as a backup. Jordan Love was great yesterday. Considering the amount of possessions they had and the amount of drops they had and the constant bad field position they had, 27 points actually a really good game, which is why Jordan Love is grading out so well this week. If you just look at what PFF stands, I know roll your eyes, but it's not like PFF is going to give him an awful grade if he was great or vice versa. Like Jordan Love played really good yesterday. And again, considering how few possessions they had and the drops they were dealing with, 27 points is pretty pitching. 608-321-1670. Wisco Sports Show. Who's that?
Grant, happy Victory Monday.
Happy Victory Monday, Cone Roller. Nice to hear from you.
What a good, messy, ugly win. But, when you're in the Meadowlands, you got to take it. Never have seen so many injuries in my life. Let's get rid of artificial turf. What do you say?
Well, didn't Baron Sorrell tweet something today, like played on concrete the first time? Yeah, a lot of contusions, right? So, like, that's just you're slamming it hard on something, like a real bad bruise. That's what a contusion is. Romeo Dobbs, like, his helmet came down and banged his nose. I think it's just a really hard playing surface.
Yeah, Jordan Love getting hurt. I don't know if I put that on the playing surface.
No.
That's just, you got to slide, dude.
He's guys, Jordan Love played awesome yesterday. I have very few complaints about how he played yesterday. Really tough, too, to come back from that injury and make some of those throws. He is one of the worst running quarterbacks I've ever seen. Of guys who can run. Like Kirk Cousins is worse, but Kirk Cousins doesn't run. Jordan Love should be able to run. His instincts suck. Knowing when to get down or when to push through always makes the wrong decision. He's unnatural. He's like a cartoon when Scooby and Shaggy start to run and they're like running and play. He's a horrible runner, Cone.
Yeah, it was good to see him bounce back yesterday. He looked a little more comfortable. He looked all out of sorts against the Eagles, missing guys open, running into the defense, the pressure. So seems like he's kind of got it figured out. So let's keep building, keep stacking. I mean, this division ain't easy. 5 division games coming up, and let's ride.
Yes,
Tony in Texas talking about the Gus bus. His celebration, pumping his chest after an and one in the first quarter, that might fly in AAU. But when you're at a Big Ten program, the one with the respect of Wisconsin basketball, that stuff ain't flying.
As soon as you said it, one more thing, Cone, thank you so much for that. I knew that's where you're going with that. Dude, screw that guy. What a loser. We'll talk more about that maybe later. Probably not. We don't need to do an hour on, what's his name? Gus. I always want to say Gus Varland, but that's not it. I couldn't remember his name when he was here. He was just the dude who was too stupid to not smoke weed in his dorm room. Dude, in Madison, go smoke it naked on State Street. No one will mind. Can't do it in your dorm room. God, what an idiot. Yeah, ugly wins. I just wish the Packers would have been able to do what they did yesterday against Cleveland, Carolina, Philly. You just need to be able to play a bad game and beat a lesser opponent anyways. I'm so thankful they were able to do it yesterday. That's an example of what I wish they'd been able to do at other points this season, because their record would be in a better spot and they'd be set up a lot better. They're still set up fine, and they have basically control their own destiny with how many division games they have down the stretch. It's just what we saw yesterday. I wish we would have seen a little bit more of earlier in the season, because the record could get a little bit better. And I think the discourse around the team, for whatever that's worth, probably worth more on shows like this. It would be a little bit better. 608-321-1670, Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Boiling noodles in a stove. Do I got to teach you how to cook noodles? You don't. Oh my God! And pretenders. That sounds like most of your girlfriends. So I mean,
you put a pot of water on the stove and boil it, and then put the pasta in there.
No, you don't. No. You want to know how you make noodles? The best way, Steven? You put them in the microwave. They come out like picture perfect, like a delicatessen with noodles in the microwave. It's like beauty. You don't have to, and you don't got to stand there and stir it and stir it and stir it. Somebody else, I'll show you how to make them in the microwave. That's how I make all my noodles, spaghetti, everything. Microwave them.
All right. Well, I'll look into this, Dave. You brought this to my attention.
Oh yeah, cold water and but anyway, I heard that clip with LeFlunk.
Mm-hmm.
But why are we surprised? Nobody makes us. It's like here in Madison, Luke Batgirl. Nobody in the media makes them accountable. You got the crap show over to ESPN, and no accountability. You got the lapdog of Bill, no accountability. They ask the tough questions, but nobody makes them accountable.
To be fair, Mike wasn't in the presser today because Mike's traveling back. So if you have beef with Mike, you got to leave it out of today's presser.
Yeah. But it's they were dead last against the run, 31st and 32nd, and all week. This is because of the game play called scripted play throwing. When you're dead last against the run, 5 points up, like 7 yards, everybody's running 150 something yards on you, and you come out throwing. Now, yes, you can't have 7 drop balls. I mean, Larry McCarron, I thought was going to have a coronary up in the booth.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't drop balls, and then when you do, you should be taken out of the game. You can't have mental mistakes like you had with Kennard last week. I mean, how stupid is that when you come in and forget to announce you're a pass catching tight end, or you're getting blown up. And the one thing I'm not worried about is this defense. Our $55 million man, I don't even hear his name both games, which tells me he's getting double teamed, but nobody else is doing a
Parsons?
damn thing. Yeah.
I
mean, he's getting double teamed, but nobody else is doing anything. And they're this soft zone they're playing. If I can hear one more time, Keyshawn with Wayne Laramie, 10 yards off the ball, corners playing soft, and no pass rush.
Yeah.
And special teams, finally, that's how they got beat by Dallas. You don't realize that blocked extra point, 2-point conversion that Dallas got, they were chasing points the whole game. But, it should be an interesting Sunday. The Vikings, you have to win at Detroit next Thursday. If you're going to win the division and get that second round, that second seed, you have to win, because you're going to lose at Denver. You're not going in Denver and winning.
Probably not. That team. It's interesting, David. I'm going to cut it off there because there's a lot that I want to hit on. So before you start throwing more in the pot, call back later this week. Micah Parsons in the past. Let's talk about that. Micah Parsons yesterday, sack and a half, 6 pressures, a forced fumble his last play of the game, and a 37.9 pass rush win rate. He was excellent. My genuine concern, I have a couple concerns about the defense, and I shared, there's one more caller on hold, by the way. Give me 60 seconds, I'll get to you, because I don't want you to drop off. I promise you're the last caller, I'll get to you. Thank you for waiting. My big picture concern with the defense is teams know what to do against them, and they're mostly getting away with it. We're going to come in, we're going to run the ball, stay in second and manageable, and third manageable. Breeze did a good job pointing this out. We're just going to run for 3, 4, 5 yards a pop. We're never going to be in third and long. And then when they were in third and long yesterday, the Packers couldn't get home or they gave up a screen. Teams understand the assignment against this Packers defense. And Jeff Hafley and the defense just kind of goes, okay, go ahead. This really came to play against the Panthers. I thought it came to play yesterday. If they catch a couple of picks, different conversation, I know, but they didn't. I don't like that teams clearly know the book on what to do against this Packers defense and offense for what it's worth, but set that to the side for now. So that's my big picture concern with the defense. the more focused picture is where Rashawn Gary and Devontae Wyatt. Micah Parsons is constantly double and triple teamed. That Panthers game, again, I've never seen a more focused effort to take one guy out of a game or make sure that one guy wasn't going to wreck the game. Rashawn Gary should be a number one pass rusher of his own right. And yesterday, like, he wasn't even on the field a lot of the time. Devontae Wyatt has been on a milk carton since he came back. So my concern is not with Micah Parsons. It's with those other guys, because those other guys should be eating big time. And hopefully we see them maybe at home. Devontae Wyatt back for a couple of weeks. I don't know Rashawn Gary's deal. I've never thought much of him as a number one edge rushing option, but as a number two along a deep defensive line, hopefully deeper when Van Ness can get back, and Devontae Wyatt taking attention and hopefully making plays as well. Like, yeah, you're right about that, Dave. For sure. Absolutely. 608-321-1670. Thank you for waiting. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Hey, Grant. This is Tim in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. How's it going?
I'm doing excellent, Tim. How about you?
Doing very well. Just got out of Fleet Farm picking up some 30-06
the
ammunition.
The one right off Gulf Road up on the hill? I don't think I've ever been in that one, actually.
It's pretty good, pretty solid.
I'm a Fleet Farm man over a farm in Fleet man.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it was good. We had a nice time and looking forward to it. I got a few points. I really like this team. One, Jordan Love as a runner. It's hard to watch. He's like a baby gazelle. He is lanky. He does not have that quick twitch sort of thing. You remember when Rodgers was killing it in his prime? He would be able to scramble on 3rd and 5, and he would break defenses' backs all the time doing it. Love, I don't know. It seems to be kind of a weakness, I'd say, but still love Jordan Love.
It's like watching Brooke Lopez try to get going sometimes. Like, he's not that long and lanky. He should be a little bit. Quick switch is probably a great way to describe what he's missing. Yeah, for sure.
It's hard to watch. Anyways, everyone's so bent out of shape because Green Bay's not putting up 80 every week. But that's because everyone's buying into this whole, oh gosh, Jordan Love's 27 years old. That's the prophecy. Green Bay's going to win the Super Bowl again. We went out and got Micah Parsons. That's our Reggie White. Like I said, man, it's they're team, young team, still figuring it out. And I think we just got to kind of enjoy them growing, which is what they're going to continue to do. This kicker situation, they lost a tight end because of this kicker situation.
Correct. They lost Ben Sims, who I like more than Musgrave, a lot more than Musgrave.
And they tried having their cake and eating it too. Everybody knows you can't do that. I think McManus is going to be better in the long run in a windy outdoor stadium, and I think we ought to ride with him.
Well, Haversack didn't do himself any favors. I appreciate the call. Hey, good luck in the wars to come and deer season to come. I'm a 30-06 Springfield man myself, so I might have to stop in and get some rounds this week. I haven't bought ammo in forever. Normally, last couple of years I've only bird hunted, so I don't know. Watch, I'm going to go in and have to spend $70 on bullets. Not the point. On the young team thing, they're young. Romeo Doubs has been a starting wide receiver. Christian Watson's been a starting wide receiver. These guys have been starting and playing a ton. They're young, and every once in a while that should show up. It shouldn't be showing up as much as it is. And I'm with you, and I said back at 4 o'clock, and I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, caller. It was a great call. There's a lot of names that I can't remember for whatever reason. Back at 4 o'clock, I said, this team should be so likable. We've watched 90% of these guys be drafted here, come up together, like this era of players, and they're all so likable. So why do I watch on Sundays and sometimes hate them? And at the end of the game, I was very happy. I'm like, oh, okay. It's funny, one win, and I'm like, oh, well, it was pretty fun. I don't know. I had a good time. But during the game, I'm like, I hate these guys so much because it's the drops, and it's like, just drives me nuts. So I'm with you. Yeah, you're right on Ben Sims. I wish he was still on this team. One more call here, and then we'll go to break. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
This is Louie in Eau Claire.
Hey, what's going on, Louie? Eau Claire, loud and proud today.
Oh, that's right. I'm a Blaine's guy. I'm not a Mills guy, so that's kind of where we separate. I think. All
right, that's fine.
I think we can agree to disagree.
That's fine. I grew up with a Fleet farm in my town. I did not grow up with a farm and Fleet in my town. So that maybe geography is destiny, they say. Maybe that's it. I know nothing about either family, so I don't know. Don't hold that against me.
Well, let's not start like a central farmland argument or anything like that. So before it really gets off the rails.
Yeah.
No, you were talking about the predictability of both the offense and defense, and that's what I was going to talk about. That's really the only conclusion I can draw as to why sometimes when Malik Willis comes in these short spurts, that the Packers seem to be. Malik Willis is certainly not better than Jordan Love, but for whatever reason, the whole operation of the offense seems to be a little bit better. You think that's just because of the predictability of it all? Because Matt LaFleur said in his press conference they really don't have separate plays for Malik Willis. He's running the same offense or plays, but are they changing up their play calls, and that's why it works? Because I really can't think of any other reason as to why Malik Willis comes in here, and it's like Matt LaFleur was like halfway expecting it and knew exactly what to do and had the play calls right in front of him that would work.
So I'm not sure. So there's two conversations here, Louie, and I appreciate it. And it's okay that you're a Blaine's man. That's fine. There's the conversation about big picture predictability. Again, I think opponents come into games against the Packers. We know exactly what to do. We know the book. We know the chapters. We know how to attack this thing. I don't think a lot of opponents recently have locked up and played against the Packers and come out of a drive or come out of a game like, we did not see that coming. And that worries me. I'm not saying they need to run a bunch of trick plays, but I think the book is out on the Packers, and I would like some counterpunches. I would like some adjustments to that. So there's that thing. On Malik Willis, I don't know. I think a lot of you, in focusing on the Malik Willis drive, are underrating how well the rest of the game went with Jordan Love. They only had 6 drives. And on the drives that Jordan Love didn't have dropped passes, and on the other one where he didn't get blown up by Brian Burns, they scored every time. So it's not like Jordan Love led drives that all ended in punts. He led just about guys, they had 6 drives and they scored 27 points. So I don't think the Malik Willis drive went that differently than all the Jordan Love drives other than drops. And that was the difference. So Malik Willis he's a good backup. That would be, it would not be my take on Malik Willis and their success with him is not about the rest of the offense playing better around him, Matt LaFleur calling better plays with him. I think he's just a good backup. So he makes some plays when he's out there. He doesn't try to do too much. If things break down, he just tucks it and run, which is beautiful. He's better at that than Jordan Love is. But I think they were pretty good on offense the entire game. They only got stopped when they dropped passes. And there just weren't that many drives. So like 27 points might feel underwhelming until you consider that they only had the ball a small handful of times. Again, because the defense is like, sure, go ahead, run the clock on us. We don't care, which again annoys me. Let's talk about tight end. Can I just complain about Luke Musgrave for 5 minutes when we come back? I'll take more of your phone calls too.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Zone Blitz pregame bash is back. Every Wisconsin home game 2 hours before kickoff at the Blue Moon Bar and Grill. And this year, do I have something special for you? It's a perfect snack for game day or any day. Wenzel's Farm Pro Snack Sticks. Come see me and I'll hand you 16 grams of protein to fuel you through the day. Wenzel's Farm offers that and so much more, crafted in small batches using premium cuts of meat, perfectly seasoned, and naturally hardwood smoked. Check out wenzelsfarm.com. Made by pros for pros.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
Love, quick throw, out route. The tight end, Luke Musgrave, gets blown up by Cordell Flott.
That's one of two plays Luke Musgrave was involved in yesterday. What if I told you the other one was worse? Because he caught the ball and then fumbled it. And you might be saying, well, Grant, I didn't see the game. Did he get blown up again? Oh, no. Oh, no, he did not. He fumbled it because the wind blew weird. I don't know. I thought he got bailed out by the refs. That was a fumble, man. That wasn't an incomplete pass. I'll take it. But I would just like to say something about Luke Musgrave, by the way, and I'm looking at Bill Huber's story at Sports Illustrated. Snaps for the tight ends. Tucker Kraft's knee injury would be just the opportunity that Luke Musgrave needed, or not. John Fitzpatrick played 35 snaps, Josh Wiley played 20, and Musgrave played 19. It's easy to understand why. If Musgrave can't make a play in the passing game, what's the point of having him on the field? I have been skeptical of Luke Musgrave this entire season. I've always been skeptical of him, but Tucker Kraft got hurt, and then we start the shows on Monday, and it starts on Bill because I produce him 10 to 2. It's like, well, this is the opportunity for Luke Musgrave. Here we go. Finally, his time to shine. I go, yeah, okay. Sure. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I bet he's ready to step in and be a total beast. Yeah, because we've seen a lot of things that would support that over the last 2 years. I'm not trying to be mean. I honestly mean this when I say, and I saw Nick Costos tweet something like this yesterday. He does you better you bet. I played some audio from his show last week. He's entertaining as hell. He used to do a lot of hits with our friend Bart Winkler in the morning in Milwaukee. I always look forward to him. I think Wednesday mornings. Chuck and Winkler. I miss it. Anyway, I'm not being dramatic when I say this. There is a chance that Luke Musgrave is the worst football player on this Packers roster. If there is a player on this Packers roster who is worse at football, I have not seen them in a game. He blows. And I know what a lot of Packers fans have said because I see your tweets and it makes sense. Well, he's not Tucker Kraft. Stop trying to use him as Tucker Kraft. Stop throwing him the ball in the flat and expecting him to run with the ball. Send him on routes down the field. Sure, but guess what? If that's what he's doing, there's 5 other guys I would prefer to throw the ball to. We'll have him run routes down the seam. I would rather have Dobbs, Watson, Golden, Williams. I might be backing on him. I would rather have Wicks. I would rather have Malik Heath when he gets out of the doghouse. I don't need another wide receiver, especially a skinny white one who falls over in a breeze and fumbles the ball because he stepped weird on a blade of grass. I don't need another pass catcher. They have a bunch of them. I need tight ends. Give me Fitzpatrick. He's better, and he fits better in this offense, and so does Wiley. Here's Matt LaFleur today, by the way. Hilarious question and answer. He was asked, notice Luke Musgrave didn't play much in the second half. Is he hurt?
No, I think it was kind of how the game played out.
Let me interject. The game played out. We wanted good players on the field, but I'll say what Matt LaFleur did.
I've already kind of addressed it. He absolutely needs to play more than whatever snaps he played in the second half. So we'll make sure that happens. Yeah, I thought Luke, I know that we had the one drop in the flat, really the 2 drops or whatever. But I thought and those are going to get magnified. But I thought he did a pretty good job overall.
Hold on. Let me replay that part one more time. Just presented with no context.
Drop in the flat.
Hold on. I need to find the beat.
I thought, Luke, I know that we had,
Here it is. Starting right here. Ready?
I know that we had the one drop in the flat, really the two drops or whatever.
2 drops in the flat.
But I thought
yeah,
and those are going to get magnified.
No kidding.
But I thought he did a pretty good job overall.
I thought he did other guys, other than those 2 plays, which he looked like the worst football player in the league. Well, I know we're going to magnify those, but other than that, he played pretty well. I don't know what we would have seen in the other plays. He only played 19 snaps, and 2 of them were 2 of the worst football plays I've ever seen. The end, though, sure.
Say you've already addressed it. Does that mean you addressed it with Luke, or you addressed it with your guys, your staff?
Yeah, with our staff. I just think he's a guy that we have to get on the field.
No, you do not. You rest assured, you do not. I think he might be the worst player on the roster. I'm not kidding. Seems like a nice guy. I mean, he's a stiff in front of the media. Maybe he's a nice guy. I don't know. Fine human, I'm sure. Awful football player, and not one that the Packers need to feature more. We'll let him run routes. No, they have plenty of wide receivers. I don't need that. 608-321-1670. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
After he said the 2 drops in the flat, Grant, he was just trying to find something, and the game film is just flipping through his head, and he's like, "Nope, can't say that. Nope, you didn't do anything on that." And then you don't have anything in the second half, so holy Toledo, don't get that guy on the field. You just said that the other tight ends were better for your game plan because you were trying to win the game.
Yeah.
It doesn't, what are we doing here? It's not rocket science.
Thank you, Hector, not Alaska. It was just a hilarious bit of sound. He's like, I know the 1 drop in the flat. Well, I guess really it was 2 drops in the flat. But other than that, he played well. It's like, okay, man, sure. It's fine.
You want to have a tight end. Of course, you can't use him exactly as Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft is a manimal of a person.
Yeah, he's a real tight end.
Right. You got to be. What else are you doing out there but getting a dump off in the flat? You're the safety valve. Any other tight end can step in and do it. Freaking Michael Mayer was a nobody and could still step in for those couple of games and be serviceable. You got to be able to do something. Who cares if you get 3 yards after the catch? At least make the damn catch. Holy Toledo. If you are a good or decent tight end, you get the ball. Trust me, I'm a Ravens fan. We got 3 of those MFers just floating around, and they each get the ball. Kohler even has 2 touchdowns on the season.
Isaiah Likely's good,
you got to
too.
be able to
I like
do
Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, very good, very good. I'll be interested to see how the Packers and Ravens play each other come end of December because they're both they're expected to be good. They play the bad teams too close and got to claw their ways out of situations that they don't need to put themselves into. And we blame a lot of it on the coaches, but players got to make plays. And got to love Mark Andrews, man. Shout out to him.
The fake tush push yesterday. That was a baller play.
Push, holy smokes. And I heard he reached his highest speed in his career, just over 20 miles per hour. Heck yeah, not bad for an old man.
Not bad at all. Hector, not Alaska. I appreciate you yucking it up about Luke Musgrave with me. Man, he stinks. And maybe next weekend against the Vikings, he comes out and maybe I don't know. It's just, dude, if you can't do tight end things, I don't need you on the field. Got a bunch of wide receivers. They're already fighting over who gets to play. We had to suspend one this week because they're pissed off about who gets to play. You can't stay on your feet. You drop balls. You fumble the ball. I got no time for you. We're trying to win football games here. Sorry, Luke. Sorry. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Darnell Washington did Luke Musgrave no favors either.
And Darnell Washington mostly has stunk. Yeah. He's mostly stunk, and yet he can do tight end things.
But if your tight end is going to suck that you took, and I think they were drafted the same year,
correct?
Right? You want him to have that one play, that one highlight where he runs over an entire Browns defense and just makes them look like children. If your tight end's going to suck, at least make him suck and be a badass. That's fine.
Yeah. I want you to suck. I want you to be a meathead if you're going to suck. I don't want I don't need a soft. I don't need that. I got no use for you. Sorry.
Yep. Darnell Washington, but also if Aaron Rodgers was not the quarterback, if he was pushing Josh Allen's tush, right? That, they're going to get the first out.
Yeah.
That would be.
He's a tackle
just make that clear.
who catches passes. Yes. And I think both Kraft and Musgrave were drafted before Darnell Washington. I'll look into that. I know it doesn't matter, but just to scratch that itch, I think the Packers took them both before. So continue, Vagabond John. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's a separation of 2 thoughts that I had that I kind of wanted to talk out and I think it's relevant. I did not get to watch the game. I watched a lot of highlights, looked at Twitter a couple of times while I was bartending for the Bears and the Vikings fans. That was a chaotic bleep show. Wow.
Watch that.
St. Paul got after it. I'll just put it that way.
Good.
But over across the street in the Packers bar, everybody's tweeting about these drops, right? And I think on this show, I made it very clear that in the NFL, you should not have to teach players fundamentals, right? You should not have to teach them how to tackle. I got on that high horse enough when we were in the Joe Barry days. And you should not have to teach receivers how to catch, right? It's not Matt LaFleur's fault that they're dropping passes.
Mm-hmm.
However, I also think there's a piece of this when you layer in, kind of LaFleur's language around Halloween, and you layer in kind of LaFleur's demeanor, that if your players play really tight and they're not out there having fun and everybody kind of feels like every play is the most important play, and they're going to make errors like missing tackles, like dropping interceptions, and like fumbling the ball in air or incompletion. So those are kind of two thoughts I'm curious, Grant. Do you see a separation there where you shouldn't have to teach them fundamentals, but also if the entire team is kind of struggling with some of the basics, they're playing tight, and that is a reflection of the head coach. Is there something there?
Yeah, absolutely. And as you talk back about John, I'm going to let you go. I have Pete Doherty that I'll play for you on the other side of this break, who's covered the Packers a long time, saying exactly that, talking about the emotional head coach. The team follows that thing. So I'll just let Pete speak for me on the other side of the break because he knows a million times more than me. And, sometimes on the radio and we throw takes around, it's like, well, he's throwing takes around, which I totally am. But then when a very embedded Packers reporter who's got a long time history with this team says something like that, it means a little bit more. So we will address that on the other side of this break. A couple of other items from this game that we haven't got to yet as well. And the Monday mailbag to close out the show at 5:50. So submit your questions. GrantBills21@gmail.com.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 5 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 4 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
Teams do kind of tend to take on their coach's personality. They can. There's definitely a lot of truth in that. LaFleur is wired pretty tight, and so maybe some of that filters down to his team. He's a really emotional guy. I think that 4th and 8 decision was made purely on emotion. He knew he was going to go. He knew he was going to go for it.
Right.
And then he calls. They go into that well a little too much. The perimeter screen. And so he goes to that well, and they get dumped for a 5-yard loss. So I'm sure he was just really upset about that, and he just made an emotional decision. We're going for it. He was probably upset at himself for making the call. So they should never have gone for that 4th and 8. The odds just aren't good enough. You take the points in a low-scoring game. So I think sometimes his emotions get the better of him too, and that probably filters down to the team as well.
There's an answer to Vagabond John. Yeah, I think teams take after their head coach. Matt LaFleur's wound pretty tightly. Don't take my word for it. I don't know anything about anything. That's Pete Doherty. He knows a lot about everything. That's on Bill's show a couple weeks ago, I think right after the Panthers game. And I know what you're all thinking. Grant, wow, that's really, you're so organized with all these cuts of audio. You got that in such a flat. I know, I did. Thank you for noticing. Couple of texts here. The Monday mailbag, just about 10 minutes away. 608-321-1670. Rye Guy says, Grant, I love Green Bay, but they are hard to watch. Does our so-called offensive genius ever throw on first down? I'd be interested in the stats. Seems so predictable. I think they are predictable. The thing is, they're good. But teams know. It's like, well, we'll sit in too high. We'll make them dink and dunk, and they'll get in their own way. And most of the time they do. I do find it funny that in the same show we have, why do they never throw on first down? And then Dave from Monona saying, why are they throwing on first down? The Giants can't stop the run. This is the nature of, watching and commenting on play calling. I'm not saying that either of you are wrong. It's just you can talk yourself in circles around this stuff. Gordon Lacrosse, the wide receivers need to get on the jugs machine next week. Chris Brooks had some big blocks when he came in. The rest of the running backs need to do what he does for pass blocking. Everyone needs to shut up about Malik Willis. Jordan Love had the best game ever in his career, graded according to PFF, yes. Willis isn't going to solve our wide receiver problem. I just think Malik Willis is a good backup. And the team is good when they're not dropping passes. So he came in, guys caught the ball, and they scored. Chris Brooks is good. And I like Emmanuel Wilson, too. So if Josh Jacobs has to miss time, I think they'll be okay. Bobby in Menominee says, highly ethical quarterback Jordan Love, no designed runs for my goat. Well, they had one, and then he slid and got himself lit up and still didn't get the first down. Jim in Cottage Grove, just a couple notes. I hadn't heard anyone complain about Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur taking big shots down the field this week. I thought they were totally unable, but they succeeded a couple. Jordan Love came back in that game pretty quick after Willis got a touchdown on his first drive. Do you suppose he's worried about his job? Ha, 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 ha. No, I don't know. I don't know. People complained about the shot to Christian Watson on third down because Christian Watson didn't catch it. was a good play call. Great throw. One of Jordan Love's best this season. And like a lot of his best throws this season, went through the arms of Jaden Reed or Christian Watson or whoever. TK on Wisconsin's West Coast. Absolutely spitting fire regarding Matt LaFleur's take on missed kicks. Yeah, I just pretend to care a little bit more, dude. That's my take. I'm driving home and yelling amen so much and so loudly, I think the vehicle's in the next lane over. Believe I'm listening to the Gospels. Preach, Brother Grant. Thank you for texting over in La Crosse. I was in that area this weekend. Beautiful. Perot State Park. Did a nice hike. It was beautiful on Saturday. Maybe went up to El Morro. I thought about getting a room in on the river, but I wasn't that, I didn't need a place to sleep. But if I did, obviously it would have been my first call. Up drinking in Centerville, up there in that area. Oh, yeah, the jailhouse. Throw my ass in the jailhouse. Am I right? Jared in DeForest says in Love's presser, he said we scored the right amount of points. Are we supposed to score 27? They haven't all their wins. I don't think that's who he's hitting at. I think he was just up there saying stuff. Anything else? I think we got it all. Tim and Prairie du Chien. One more. Apropos to nothing, but isn't it weird that the Bears fan base acts like the Bears are awesome at 7-3, and they could just as easily be 3-7 or 2-8, and Packers fans are upset at 6-3-1 and a good kicker away from 8-2. All about perspective, I guess. Absolutely. I will say, if the Packers had just won 2 more ugly games the way the Bears have been, they'd be 8-1-1, and we'd be talking about a 1 seed day in a division. So I am jealous of the Bears in that regard. You don't apologize for winning. I don't think the Bears are as good as their record says, but imagine this. And I brought up this scenario on Bill's show. I think the Bears right now are overvalued at their current record. You would look at their record and think they're awesome, and I don't think they're as good as their record says. But who's to say that Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams don't click, partway through the season, and the Bears go up a level, and they start playing at a 7-3 level, and they've already banked all these wins. That's the dream for the Packers, right? Is over the next couple of weeks, they find this higher gear. Well, wouldn't it be nice to have a couple more wins banked? So now that they're playing at a higher level, they could be gunning for a first-round bye or a home playoff game instead of needing to scramble and fight to avoid going on the road opening weekend, right? Like, that's what I think about with the Bears is what if Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams start clicking, they take a step up, and they've already banked all these wins. That's what the Packers have been unable to do. That's what bothers me. Also, an observation before we get to the Monday mailbag next. I would just like to point something out. And I don't like being the, what about China guy? Like, oh, Jordan Love played bad, but what about the other quarterback? Like, Jordan Love, like many athletes, like Giannis, are going to be criticized on TV. They're going to be talked about on TV. You guys cannot go through your day dumping your pants because Rex Ryan said something critical. You got to be able to understand that that's how all this works. But I genuinely do not understand how Justin Herbert and the Jags can get stomped 35-6 by Jacksonville. And no segments on Justin Herbert and the Chargers today. The only reason I care is because Justin Herbert is praised as a top 5 guy, elite talent. He's never won a playoff game. Jordan has. I still don't know. The thing with Jordan Love is I can't trust him. And yet these same people tell me they trust Justin Herbert. I don't get it. And it's probably because Justin Herbert plays for the Chargers. If he played for the Cowboys or whatever, he'd get more heat. I don't understand today. Like last week, it was open season. If Jordan Love went to Jacksonville and lost 35-6, it would be open season on him and Matt LaFleur on all the talk shows this week. I listened to Middlecoff and Cowherd. I listened to Middlecoff's postgame show. Nothing on the Chargers, nothing on Herbert. They dumped their pants yesterday. I don't trust Jordan Love, though. I don't trust Sam Darnold, though. But Justin Herbert is just exempt. Wow, he's so talented. All right. Monday mailbag next. Last minute submission. Still plenty of time. GrantBills21@gmail.com.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
Because the mail never stops. Charles, we'll be writing to you.
She's got mail. That's the name of the movie.
That's it, honey. There's never a let-up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more. You got to get it up. And the more you get up, the more it keeps coming in.
The Monday Mailbag. All topics and questions, comments, considered topics outside of sports. GrantBills21@gmail.com. We have a plump bag today. Let's start with Seth in Marshfield. Says, first time, long time. Happy Packers Victory Monday to you and your fellow owners. Not sure if you're doing a Monday Mailbag today. We are. But if you are, please rank these 5 West Coast counties or pick 3 and eliminate 2, whatever makes for better radio. I'll hang up and listen. And he has listed Vernon, Trempealeau, Buffalo, Polk, Burnett. This is tough. Vernon is 1. Trempealeau is 2. I think Buffalo is 3. I think my answer will just be south to north. I think I'll put Burnett over Polk, although I think Polk has Interstate State Park, which is beautiful. My favorite town in that region up there, in the Arrowhead region, is Siren, which is in Burnett County. So I guess Burnett I'll rank over Polk. Not that much thought into it, but that is my answer. All lovely places, though. Tony, do you believe in the Illuminati? If not, let's have fun and name 3 people you know are in it. Thanks, Tony from Texas. Brady and the guy who runs Fanatics. They freak me out. Jeff says, which event do you get more excited for? The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald Day, Neil Diamond Week, the live winter tour in the Northwoods, specifically the season preview with Onabama and Coyotes Den. That was a Dean and Sue's for what it's worth. Jeff, not Mark and Eau Claire. Neil Diamond Week just makes me laugh so hard because I think it annoys a lot of people and it's such a stupid bit. So I guess I would say that. I don't know that I can do a bunch of live shows at Christmas. Man, that was stressful. Crowds of people. I'm not a live entertainer. I mean, I can be, but not with a radio. I don't know. That was really fun, though. It'd be cool to do something like that again. Tyler says, with the Farmer's Almanac coming to an end in December after its first publishing in 1818, have you ever followed their predictions, or did you think it was just an old wives' tale? I love the wording. I never really followed their predictions other than, like, we're supposed to have a ton of snow this winter. You know, stuff like that. Or for ice fishing purposes, I guess. Wouldn't it be nice if we actually got some hard water this year? I remember being at my folks over Christmas, and I fished out on the lake, but then like 2 or 3 days, like it got so soft and it rained. It's like, I'm pretty sure I'm okay out here. It just weirded me out a little bit. Anytime the holes from the day before don't refreeze and you have water pouring up and through, not for me. Excuse me. Mike says, you know how much I'm into guns. What rifle do you shoot? Also be careful out there. A 30-06, I think it's a Remington. It was my grandpa's. It's not anything sexy. It's a total utilitarian deer hunting gun. I'm much more proud of my shotgun, which is my other grandpa's. That's a Browning A5. A long bastard with a vented rib on the top. And it's the old style, like with the hump on the grip, with the big metal bump there. Love that gun. Like bird hunting a lot with that gun. 30-06, very much utilitarian. Alex says, who wins an open field matchup, Luke Musgrave or J.K. Scott? That might, you know how in Oppenheimer, it's like there's a chance we light the atmosphere on fire? The football version of that. Like there's a chance that Luke Musgrave and J.K. Scott in open field combat opens some portal that envelops us all. Wayne says, Mike Clemens interviewed Musgrave and said he was more interested in talking about flying planes than football. I don't think he's a little soft now due to having had a liver injury, doesn't like contact. I don't know. I don't know. I was really underwhelmed with that audio that Mike played. Maybe we can have some fun with that on tomorrow's show. I'm so underwhelmed watching him play. Again, I'll plant my flag. I think he's the worst player on the roster. Or better put, if they have a worse player on the roster, I have yet to see them. And maybe it's unfair to ask him to be yards after the catch guy. Well, that's not him. He should be a threat down the seam. It's like, well, I would rather have Matthew Golden, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Savion Williams, Bo Melton, and Malik Heath doing that. And I mean it. I 100%. I've seen big plays from Malik Heath. I've seen a big game from Bo Melton. I've now seen a big play from Savion Williams. And I think Doubs, Watson, and Golden are all better. So what are we even doing? I don't require your services because your services stink. I'll take John Fitzpatrick. I'll take this Josh Wiley fella. I'll take Dominique Daphne back. I'll take Ben Sims back. But we can't have him anymore because we have to have two kickers on the roster, neither of them who can make kicks and or be healthy. Yeah. Sorry, kind of a negative way to wrap up the show. I did like talking about Polk and Burnett County. Give me Burnett. Siren is a sneaky, underrated place. You know, everybody talks about going north in the summer. You get up to Hayward, which is beautiful. I know a lot of people on the eastern side of the state. Let's go to Eagle River. It's just very far, typically, from where I am. I'm more of a fan of the 53 stretch than the 51 or 151 up north of Madison. Siren, very sneaky, cool place. Plus, a lot of tornado history, including that metal boat that's wrapped around a tree. So give me Burnett County. But Vernon, stop. Silly, I'd say silly question, but that wasn't your question. We'll start with Vernon and go from there. Have an excellent night. Monday Night Football, Raiders, Cowboys. Wow, that'll be great. I'm going to play Call of Duty. Talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.